Hey everybody, it's Michael with the Sunset Single Player, and we're back today with some more Demon's Souls Remake. And today I'm going to be giving you all a guide on how to best take down the Penetrator boss fight. And the Penetrator is a really cool boss, probably one of my favorites in the game in Archstone 1-3. Right off the bat, you do just want to run forward through the gate and take out these two wolves. These are a little bit annoying to get the best of. And at this point, I've already unlocked the gate to serve as a shortcut to take us to the boss itself. So this guide's going to be mostly focused on the boss fight itself and not really navigating the area per se. But you just want to continue straight after you open that gate shortcut up these set of stairs here. And there are a few additional enemies you want to take care of along the way. Some of them you can even run by and they won't chase you. Actually, most of them you can run by. I think my best practice was just to kill the wolves because they will really hunt you down at the end of time if you don't take care of them. And here we actually get rushed by 3 red-eyed knights, and these guys are really strong, so you want to make sure that you don't let them attack you in succession. And you can't just run by them, they can't catch you in time by the time you get to the fog gate. And here we come up on some beautiful red flowers on this fog gate. Really epic entranceway to a crazy boss fight in the game. Make sure you guys have a lot of pine resin for this one. So whenever you kind of see him wind up and approach you with that long sword stroke there, you just want to dodge to the side. I found that the most effective method. And you can dodge backwards too, like you just saw there, if you have the time for it. But I found that diving to the side and just out of the radius of that outstretched sword swipe is typically the best. And then as he kind of takes a little bit of a break, you can rush in and get a couple good strikes in with your sword on fire from the pine resin. And I found that even though you just saw I did a heavy hit there, I found that light hits were typically better for this guy just because you could get a couple more in and also not have to be too worried about recovering that stamina in order to heal right afterwards. And if you find you don't have time to dodge out of the way, as long as your health is like over halfway, you can just throw your shield up and he won't KO you completely. I mean, he's going to do some damage, but it's better than risking a dodge without sufficient stamina and health and dying in one hit. Because if you do put the shield up, it will block most of the blow and give you the best shot at surviving. Pine resin really is a godsend in this game. It definitely helped me with the man-eaters a lot. It just gives you a little bit more damage per hit, which is really what you want. You want that extra DPS to just have a better shot at survival and just whittle that health bar down a little bit more quickly. And while the Penetrator is aggressive, I did think that the Man-Eater and the Flame Lurker were much harder fights. You kind of do just have to keep your distance and stay on your toes here in this just really aesthetically pleasing boss fight here with these red petals on the ground. Just really interesting with these statues above the fog gate. And you really just want to know when to strike, keep your distance, and just make sure your stamina is up at all times. That's really important. Otherwise, you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble. As long as you kind of keep a mid-range distance from him, he can't really touch you too easily. I found that in this fight, most of the time I got hit was when I was being overly aggressive and trying to get more hits in and striking from the front like that. So ideally you do want to strike from the back, and that is kind of a common theme in this game. You do want to backstab as much as you can. It definitely gives you more of a shot to get some good damage in without getting hit yourself, which is really important. But you'll see there, if he needs a little bit of a stamina break after doing a lot of slices in a row, you can get a few hits in the front. But don't make a habit of it because he can just get that sword going right again, like you just see right there. I also think it's really cool how his sword is kind of on fire, kind of not. It's like its own magical aura to it. It's really cool as he approaches you just with that sword in the front of him. And it's just a really cool environment for a boss fight with these statues in this courtyard in Boletaria, and you know that he basically is the guardian that's protecting you from the final boss, and he's kind of your last step towards the final boss. He just completely decimates these statues, not a care in the world for his courtyard. He really just wants to take you out and protect his eventual master that we'll see in a future video that I'll put up for you guys. And in this fight, I am using the longsword and the knight shield, and I think the longsword was upgraded to a +4, and I think at this point I'm about a soul level 78 or something like that, so I might even be a little bit over leveled for this guy, especially with the +4 weapon and the pine resin. But definitely don't want to take any chances, and being a little bit overpowered definitely isn't a bad thing in this game. And you also see I'm wearing the Fat Official's top hat that I found on the top of my head because I did want to look a little bit sophisticated for this fight in this tango with this Penetrator guy. This is really just a sword fight between two knights, so I definitely did want to look the part. If you've watched some of my previous boss guides for other bosses in the game, like Flame Lurker, Maneater, Armored Spider, and a couple others, you'll notice that there's a new change to my wardrobe in this fight as well, and that change is that I'm wearing pants. So in the previous boss guides I gave, I wasn't wearing any pants or pants armor because I wanted to keep that equipment burden down so that I could roll. But since then, I've really upgraded my endurance a lot and have been able to wear pants and not be fat rolling. So that's another big thing. You want to make sure that you don't fat roll. You got to make sure that equipment burden is under 50% so that you can roll in quick succession. You definitely will notice that rolling is very important in this fight, and you don't want to be slowed down by very heavy armor. I've really enjoyed covering Demon Souls on the channel so far, and I appreciate everyone for stopping in. And now that we are approaching the end of the game, after I put up that final boss guide, I'd imagine I'll be switching over into some new titles to cover on the channel for you guys. So maybe for the people out there that aren't as into Demon Souls as I am, you'll be able to look for some new content soon, so that's definitely exciting. And starting in March, we do get some really great PlayStation games. So it sounds like we'll be getting the Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered in March. So that's a game I definitely would like to check out and potentially cover on the channel. And then I'm also looking forward to Returnal by Housemarque and Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Those are two additional March games I can't wait to play. And then I'm sure in April or May we'll get Ratchet & Clank, will be my prediction. I'm really looking forward to playing Ratchet as well. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of content from that game up on the channel for you guys to look forward to. And back to this fight here, you'll see really quick that I almost got struck by that really deadly fatal stab attack, that orange or yellow animation. And you'll see that I just dove to the side. I should have mentioned that earlier. So whenever you're very up close and personal with him and he does that orange and yellow stab animation, I know I mentioned it was deadly, but just a quick dive to the side will keep you safe from that. You just got to make sure that you're really tracking that and making sure that he's not ready to stab, otherwise you will die. And the last thing you want is to get him really far back to just his health where it's whittled down to now and die at the last possible second. That's not something that you'd want to do and have to come all the way back, avoid those pesky red-eyed knights, run to the gate and have to fight this guy again. So hopefully like right there you'll see it. So hopefully that tip helps you guys and prevents you from getting stabbed in the last like tenth of his health or whatever it is that he's down to at this point. And like the Flame Lurker, the Penetrator definitely gets most aggressive at the final portion of his health bar. So you really just want to be on the defensive in the last portion of this fight and just really be patient and know when to strike. Just stay back and deal with that grass that you can stockpile when you need it. And really just go for those backstabs. You really just want to backstab to win in this game, especially this fight. But there, when he is kind of recovering that stamina, like I mentioned, you can get a couple stabs in the front, so nothing too bad, and shouldn't be too difficult for you guys. Once you get him to this point, you really just got to stay on the defensive and be a little bit patient. And there we go, everybody. Awesome. We vanquished the Penetrator boss fight in 1-3. Really fun fight. I didn't think it was too hard, but it was definitely a solid fight that kept you on your toes with the dodging, and the pine resin definitely played a major role in my success in this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and this helped you out with the Penetrator, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for much more PlayStation 5 content coming soon. We're going to finalize the covering of this game with the final boss coming up that you guys can look forward to. I'll show you guys how to take down the big bad in this game. And also remember that I do run a weekly single-player focused podcast that I did link in the description of the episode today called The Sunset Single Player if you'd like to check it out. Thanks so much, guys, and take care.